Hey guys, I am Fog for Win 2, and I'm going to be giving my personal impressions on the new crit item changes. As a Challenger Tryndamere player in NA, this will definitely influence Tryndamere, as well as definitely ADCs and a bunch of other champions as well, in positive or negative ways. I'll talk about that a little bit. But let me just read off the first part. This is by Riot Roxon. Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about crit items, bouncing some ideas and getting some discussion going. The exact details are still in flux, so, quick note, none of these things are guaranteed to ship, so this is all subject to change, or they can completely scrap the idea, we don't really know. But anyways, here's the current goals of the crit items. Crit users have an item path that they are excited about. Crit users have defensive options that aren't way off curve. And crit users are way more satisfying in solo queue for all levels of play. So, as you can see here, their first direction, the first thing they're thinking about doing is just completely reverting Infinity Edge. So, currently Infinity Edge gives 10% critical strike true damage. And before, Infinity Edge used to give just a flat critical strike bonus damage. It doesn't have any true damage on it at all, which made it really strong against squishies. They thought that ADCs just did way too much damage, so they made it more. They made the item more geared towards burning down tanks. But let's be honest, no one's picking tanks right now. Everyone's picking kind of bruisers or something like that. So ADCs just end up being kind of useless, so they're making it just do critical strike bonus damage. Now, I will say that this is going to benefit ADCs, but it will also equally, if not more so, benefit Tryndamere and Yasuo. I think are the big two that are going to benefit from that change. One, Yasuo is going to have 100% crit chance off of 2 items again, which is going to be nice, so he can go Fam Dancer and Infinity Edge and not just like way over cap on crit, which is pretty cool. And for Tryndamere, we're going to be able to one-shot people again. So there are a couple changes on here later down the list. They'll explain why this Infinity Edge is going to work so well with the other items on the list that are being changed as well. And basically, we're going to be getting a lot of good one-shots going. So I'm pretty excited. So I can't wait to get that part, but first we got to get through all this other stuff here. So IE direction number 2. So they're either going to go with this one to just revert Infinity Edge, or we're going to go with IE direction number 2 and just make it this big 5,000 gold item that has crit chance, attack speed, attack damage, a little bit of move speed, bonus critical strike bonus damage. So probably 50%. Maybe they'll do like 40%. Maybe they'll be a little bit be less on it. But still, if they go with this change and make it this big 5,000 gold item, so it's 3,900 for the components. If I'm doing my math right, I don't know. I'm a Tryndamere main. We don't do maths. But anyways, 3,900 gold roughly for the components, and 1,100 for the completion cost. Now, I will say that the first ADC to complete Infinity Edge bot lane is going to hard crush the other ADC. Just because, if you look at the components by themselves, I think Zeal gives 15% crit chance. This item, when completed, gives 50%. So it's going to be an extra 35% crit chance off completion. It's also going to give that ADC that completes it first bonus critical strike damage, so the critical strikes are going to hurt way more. So basically, whoever builds this first is going to deal like double damage, essentially, to the other ADC, and it's just going to be completely busted. So, yeah, that Infinity Edge power spike, if they go with this, is going to be super strong. Now, let's talk about energized changes. So if they go with IE direction number 2, they're also going to make the Zeal items give 25% on completion. So we're probably going to see Infinity Edge first item for most ADCs, if not all. because like the zeal items, they only give 25% crit now. And instead of having scaling energized attacks, so I believe at the current iteration, energized attacks have scaling damage based on level, but now it's just going to be a flat 80 bonus damage at all levels. Everything else looks the same. Maybe that movement speed's a little bit more. Yeah, 10% move speed. That's I think that's a buff too. Not totally positive on that one, but everything else looks fairly similar. Anyways, Stag Shiv. Again, with energized attacks being a flat 80 bonus magic damage instead of scaling. Unless they just didn't put the scaling on here for whatever reason, but as far as I can read, it's just going to be a flat 80 bonus magic damage. So it's definitely, like, if they're going with IE Direction number 2, they're definitely looking for ADCs to have Infinity Edge into either Rapid Fire or Stag Shiv, and then if you build Stag Shiv, you build Rapid Fire. If you build Rapid Fire, you build Stag Shiv, and those are going to be the core items for ADCs, and then you kind of just build whatever after. Usually probably like Lifesteal, like Bloodthirster, and Tier 2 boots, and then, I don't know, maybe GA is what I'm thinking. Now, when I'm looking at these next changes, I'll go over that in a second. I think Riot was on something. And on something a little bit crazy. Because Hexdrinker built out a Stopwatch? What? Hexdrinker doesn't have magic resist? It just gives 20 attack damage and that's it for 1300? And this, like, lifeline thing, which, you know, at base level gives 110 like magic damage shield. What? This item is terrible, and it's got a terrible build path. Unless, you know what I'm thinking. A rider played against Karthus ADC one too many times, and was like, you know what? We need an item now to stop this. So I'm gonna have my Hexdrinker build out of a Stopwatch, so I can Stopwatch one of his ultis. And we're going to make it into an item that counters Karthus, so the lifeline, yeah. I don't know. I think that's how it went down at Riot HQ. No idea how this happened. So, this totally baffles me. I have no idea who's going to build this, who would, you know, opt in to building something like this. No idea. Totally blows my mind. Defensive PD. So, again, Phantom Dancer built out of Hexdrinker. You know, maybe they wanted Hexdrinker to build into more things. So instead of just building into Mom Mortius, now it builds randomly into... Yeah, I guess it just randomly now just builds into Phantom Dancer as well. So yeah, Phantom Dancer is going to build out of a frickin' Stopwatch. Yikes. So, and if you notice as well, let me read the passive lifeline on the Phantom Dancer since it's slightly different. So, currently Phantom Dancer gives you the ability to walk through, if you're within, I think, 550 units of an enemy champion, you get to walk through minions and not get creep walked, which is super nice utility, especially for a bunch of the melee champions like Tryndamere who like to build Phantom Dancer. Just so they don't get creep walked when turret diving and stuff like that. So they removed that, apparently. And they also removed the damage reduction, so no more 12% damage reduction. They also removed the 7% passive movement speed that you would get towards enemy champions. Or I think it was just around enemy champions within the 550 units again. And now, instead, when you go below 30% HP... along with just a flat shield of 280 damage, it's also going to grant 40% decaying movement speed over 5 seconds. Now, I mean, whether this passive itself would be useful on someone like Tryndamere, the damage absorption shield would be kind of useless in my opinion. That's just going to make me miss my ultimate, because I'm going to think that the 280 damage shield is going to save me, but in reality, it's just going to Bait me, I'm going to get one-shotted, and, you know, right, it's not going to save me. I'm going to miss my ulti. So that's, in my opinion, that's what's going to happen. But maybe the move speed is nice enough where I'm like, hey, maybe I built this. Now, the item I am most excited about with this rework of a bunch of these ADC-ish or fighter-ish items is Essence Weaver. Now, Essence Weaver is an item that is really fun on the champions they can build on it right now. So, the champions that in my mind build it right now, there's one ADC, it's Lucian. And even he doesn't really, use Essence Weaver, fully effectively right now. Just because he has to ult at the beginning of a fight in order to, use it, which, is what? Usually, Lucian goes through his full combo, and then he ults a guy as he starts running away from Lucian, right? And Lucian uses his W to get the movement speed, then uses his ult. That's kind of how it works. He usually doesn't use ultimate first, so Essence Weaver is kind of meh on him as well. But other champions use it is Renekton is popular with Essence Weaver. Jax is probably the most busted user of it, just because he can get a bunch of counter strikes and a bunch of leap strikes. I think Master Yi can use it pretty well. Fiora. The reason I'm most excited about it is the item is staying mostly the same, but they are changing one key aspect. Essence Flare gains 50% attack speed. When you have Essence Flare active, gives you 50% attack speed, and basic attacks refund 20% of your remaining non-ultimate cooldowns. But the only way you could activate Essence Flare before, when you built Essence Weaver, is when you use your ultimate. Now, me being a Tryndamere main, I use my ultimate at the last possible second to fight for up to 5 seconds. Most of the time, I'm fighting for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then I spin out because I can't kill the guy, or I'm just trying to spin out because I already killed the guy. I'm getting out of turret range, something like that. But with the new Essence Flare, dealing 30% of a champion's health within 2.5 seconds grants you Essence Flare for 6 seconds with a 60-second cooldown. I think the live version of it is a 30-second cooldown, so they nerfed the cooldown just a little bit. That's totally fine. This is going to make it so many more champions can use this item efficiently, and I think this current iteration might be a little bit busted. They might have to increase the cost or something, or decrease some of its stats. I'm not sure, but right now, most champions can't use it that would want to use it, just because they don't want to use their ult at the start of the fight. Think Lucian again, or think Trynd, something like that. But so many more champions are going to be able to use it, and it's going to be really nice. So for Tryndamere, I'm going to spin. And I'm going to use that new Infinity Edge. I'm going to crit the guy. I'm going to deal 30% of his HP. And then I'm going to auto spin. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be great. Because my crits right now on Tryndamere already reduced the cooldown of spin by 2 seconds flat. With Essence Flare active, it's going to reduce it by another 20% on top of that flat 2 seconds. And we're going to it's probably going to be 2 autos into another spin, 2 autos, another spin. It's going to be really nice. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Now, the Energized Stormrazor. This is the most exciting one-shot item that I see on the list. And I'm going to explain a little combo here that I see. So the stats are the same. The gold cost is the same as Stormrazor on Live. The build path is slightly different. Let me read off the passives to you. Unique passive, Energized Strike. So this is the same as Static Shiv, right? Your energized attacks deal 80 bonus magic damage on hit. Unique passive, Storm Strike. Your energized attacks damage is increased by 30% of attack damage. So think of every assassin that would want to, that built a bunch of attack damage and want to use this, just for a bunch of more flat damage on their burst, right? So think of, you know, something like Talon. Maybe Quinn can use it. I don't know. It's gonna be really strong. Like, just think of like a Caitlyn with Static Shiv, Rapid Fire, and Infinity Edge, just, you know, hitting someone with this and just like one-shotting them, right? Now, here's why I see it for Tryndamere. You know, me being a Tryndamere main, I'm gonna think of Tryndamere with basically everything I do. So, now think of the wave clear. So, Tryndamere hasn't really been building Static Shiv because they nerfed the wave clear on the item a while ago to, like, as a response to ADCs being able to wave clear just way too well. Now, think about this. Now, Static Shiv has the same Energized Strike passive, right? Your Energized attacks deal 80 bonus magic damage on hit, but Static Shiv has unique passive Shiv Lightning. Your Energized attacks now chain to up to 5 targets on hit and can critically strike. Now, our critical strike multiplier is increased by Infinity Edge, right? So we have 80 damage times 2. Well, actually, no, not times 2. It's probably going to be times 2.5 because of the Infinity Edge. So it's going to be around 200 flat damage on the Static Shiv. Wait, where is it? It's going to be 200 flat damage on the Static Shiv. Just from a Static Shiv, Storm Razor, plus Infinity Edge combo. Then, or sorry, just a Static Shiv and Infinity Edge combo. That's 200. Then you add in Storm Razor with that. So let's go this Energized Storm Razor. This Energized Storm Razor makes it so your Energized attack's damage is increased by 30% of attack damage. Now, I don't know how the calculation will go. I don't know if your Energized attack damage is increased first and then it's multiplied by the crit for Static Shiv. Or if the crit comes on, or if the increased damage comes on the base damage and then this is added on after. But let's imagine a world where your Energized attack damage is increased by 30% of attack damage. Let me pull out a calculator here. So, we have 80 flat damage. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's say we have 300 AD. So, 0.3 times 300, that's 90. So, let's do 80 plus, like, say we had 300 AD, so we got an extra 90 damage. That's 170 base times 2.5. Assuming that Infinity Edge is going to increase the crit bonus damage by 50% like it used to. That's going to be 425 damage, bouncing up to 5 targets. That would be insane, not only for wave clear, but imagine going to a team fight and Static Shiv bouncing to all those champions. That would be way too much. So I'm thinking Riot is going to make sure that the unique passives from Static Shiv and Storm Razor don't like go together. But what if they intended this? Now remember, while you're moving and stuff, especially something like Tryndamere, you're spinning, and during your spin you're generating your energy or whatever for the Energized attack. And while you're moving around, you're constantly building up energy. Every time you attack, and with Tryndamere having fast attack speed, you're constantly building up energy. If we can realistically get 2 Static Shiv procs with Energized Storm Razor, the reverted Infinity Edge, and Static Shiv, like all together, that's going to be an insane amount of damage. So I'm seeing this as the primary combo, if that's what they go for with all the Energized changes. It's going to be ridiculous. So, I doubt they'll go with this. I mean, I can see it already being super busted, but, you know, maybe they miss it, and then we get to abuse this for a couple months before they finally decide to nerf it. Who knows? Or maybe they'll hotfix it, whatever. But they also have another iteration of Storm Razor. You know, this is probably what they're going to go with because it's less OP. And also less fun. But multi-proc Storm Razor. We're going to gain a charge of Stormed Edge every 10 seconds. Maximum 3 charges, so basically you can charge up to 3 auto attacks, where your next auto will deal bonus damage. Again, this is the energized damage. And grants 40% move speed for 0.5 seconds. So imagine going on to a Caitlyn. She auto attacks you, gains 40% move speed, backtracks for a second, attacks you, 40% move speed, backtracks for a second, attacks you again, 40% move speed, because she has, 3 charges because she just came into the fight. That's going to be really hard to catch, or she can stick on to people really well too to chase them down with all the damage she has. So, and each proc doing 30, 80 damage. I'm assuming this is based off of level. That's going to be pretty strong and really consistent. This, I feel, would be kind of like cheesy, but like also scale really well, like if you get all the items. We'll see how they go with this, because this is more like burst. I could see this also being really good on assassins, just because the scaling with 30% of attack damage. And it's not bonus stack damage, it's just attack damage. It's really nice. So this, in my opinion, would be the more fun version, but also more OP version, which they'd have to fine-tune the numbers. Or make the calculation based off the base amount, and then you add the flat amount on top. So you do 80 times 2.5, which is 200, and then you add in the extra 90. So it'd be like a 290 crit instead of 425. That would also make it fine, in my opinion. And this one I think is more fun and more easy to use on more champs. So I personally prefer to go with this, but this would be pretty consistent for ADCs to be able to kite opponents. So they'll probably go with this. Never know. Buff Last Whisper. This is just a straight buff to Armor Pen. Yeah, so it builds out of 2 long swords now, so it's a little bit better item path. Has 20 attack damage instead of 10. Still same cost. Okay, so you're straight up buffing it. New Mom Malmortius, seriously, like, fix Hexdrinker. Like, do something with this so it doesn't build up a freaking stopwatch. Look how they tried to put the magic resist back on Maw of Malmortius after removing it from Hexdrinker. They added a Negatron onto the build path. Try to imagine building a Maw of Malmortius as like a 4th or 5th item or something, where you're taking up so many inventory slots. That's gonna be a no-go. Like, you're gonna be sitting on Hexdrinker or Warhammer, and then you're gonna have to wait for what, like 2,000 gold, because everything else is just kind of weird. Anyways, that's the end of the changes. Now, so I kind of gave my impressions on what I think is going to be strong, what I think is kind of weird, like the Maw, and like what they probably will do as far as like multi-proc Stormrazor, and I honestly think they're just going to revert Infinity Edge. If they do go through with any of these changes, that's how I'd imagine it would go down. Now, I want to talk about a potential busted Trinmer build that if they go through these changes, like they have listed here, if they do the old Infinity Edge, and if they keep Essence Reaver like this, let's talk about a build, and they keep Stack Shiv like it is. I'm thinking Tiamat, Zerker Greaves, so still the same 2-item combo, which is really strong early game, into Static Shiv, because Static Shiv is it's going to be decently strong, and we don't want to build Phantom Dancer, because honestly I think the item's going to be ruined for Tryndamere if it goes out like it is. Let me go over Phantom Dancer again. Yeah. Yikes. Anyways, so probably Stack Shiv as a second crit item along with the Infinity Edge. So Tiamat, Zerker Greaves, Static Shiv into Infinity Edge. That way we get our 100% crit. Then we'll be building Essence Reaver and Trinity Force, which will be giving us our 40% CDR. So this will be pretty nice. So we'll get 40% CDR, 100% crit, a really good amount of attack speed since we're building Zerkers, and Stack Shiv, and we'll have the Trinity Force attack speed as well, which will be pretty nice. We're going to be doing some really good one-shots because we're going to have the critical strike bonus damage for our Stack Shiv proc, and just like our attack damage is going to be really high. So we're gonna be spinning in, one-shotting an ADC potentially, and then we're gonna be able to move to targets really well because we'll have the Essence Reaver, new Essence Flare passive, where we can proc it way easier than before, and it's gonna be really nice. So ultimately, end build, Tiamat, Zerker Greaves, Stag Shiv, Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver, Trinity Force at 6 items, and then of course you upgrade your Tiamat to Ravenous Hydra at some point. You can upgrade it early if you want the earlier lifesteal, or you can upgrade it later if you don't feel like you need the lifesteal yet. Yeah, I honestly, just looking at these items, I think this is going to be a big buff to Tryndamere, like indirectly. I think this is going to help out Yasuo a lot too. I think the Phantom Dancer change, let me go to it. The Phantom Dancer change is going to hurt a lot of champions, but the rest of the buffs kind of help out those same champions that are hurt by it. So like currently, Yasuo and Tryndamere both build Phantom Dancer primarily as their first like big go-to item. I can see Yasuo potentially building this, but definitely not Tryndamere. And this is definitely a weird build path for Yasuo as well, so maybe Yasuo's will be going Stack Shiv as well. I don't know. I think these changes will definitely help out ADCs, being able to have more impact earlier in the game. And I think a big part of ADC's complaints is having no agency. Basically, they are relying on their teams to get them to late game, and then when ADCs get to late game, they crush, pretty much no matter what. So, basically, they're going to have a little bit more impact in the early game, and then probably similar impact as they do now in the late game. So, ADCs will be happy with this. I'm going to be happy with this as a Tryndamere main. I think Yasuo is going to be finally happy that they're not going 200% crit chance because of their passive, plus the current Infinity Edge's passive, like stacking on top of each other. So, again, none of these are guaranteed to ship, but let me know what you guys think of the crit changes in the comments below. Let me know who you think is going to be the best champion to come out of this, come out of these changes as like the biggest buff to that champion indirectly, and what do you think Riot is actually going to do? So I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below, and you know, maybe I'll read through them, see what I can find. Maybe I'm wrong on some of these points, or like some of these combos. Like maybe I'm wrong on Stack Shiv plus Stormrazor. Maybe you guys know better. Who knows? But these were my first impressions and my thoughts on how it's going to affect Tryndamere and a couple other champions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff if you want to help support me. And I'll see you guys all on the next video. See you guys later.